woman. Let's call her Alice. And Alice has a problem. You see, Alice is a manager of a restaurant in America, and Alice is always in a good mood and always has something positive to say. And when someone would ask Alice how she is doing, she would always reply, "Life is a magnificent adventure, and I'm soaking up every joyful moment." You see, people loved Alice so much that even her employees would move jobs to work with her every time that she got a new job, because Alice was a natural motivator. If anyone was having a bad day, positive Alice was always there to give encouragement. She always saw the positive side of a situation. However, one day, a person, let's call them Matthew, he just didn't understand Alice's positive outlook, so he asked her a question. "I don't get it. No one can be that positive all the time. How do you do it?" Alice replied that each day when I wake up, I say to myself, I have two choices today. I can choose to be in a good mood, or I can choose to be in a bad mood. And I always choose to be in a good mood. And each time something bad might happen, I can choose to be a victim, or I can choose to learn from it. And I always choose to learn from it. And I always ask the universe to show me how it gets better. But Matthew said to Alex, "But that's not always that easy." "Yes, it is," Alex said. "Life is always about choices. When you cut away all the junk in life, it's always about choices. You choose how you react to different situations. You choose how people affect your mood." Matthew, though, was still not convinced, but they went about their day. Now, back to Alice and her problem. You see, several weeks later, Alice was attacked in one of the restaurants that she was working at by a gang of robbers, and unfortunately, she was shot at the scene. Now, luckily, Alice was found quickly and was rushed to hospital. And after 18 hours of surgery and weeks of intensive care, Alice did make a full recovery, even though some of the fragments of bullets were still inside of her. Matthew, learning about this situation, went to visit her and asked how she was. Alice replied, "Life is a magnificent adventure, and I'm soaking up every joyful moment." "Want to see my scars?" Matthew declined, but he did ask Alex what had gone through her mind when the robbery took place. Alice said that she remembered that when they shot her, that she had two choices. "I could choose to live or I could choose to die, and I chose to live." Matthew said, "Weren't you scared?" And Alice said, "Well, the paramedics were great, and they kept telling me that I was going to be okay. But as they wheeled me into the surgical room, I could see the look on the doctors' and nurses' faces, and all I could read was, 'She's a dead woman.' And I knew that I needed to take action." "So what did you do?" said Matthew. Alice said, "Well, there was a nurse that kept shouting questions at me, and then she asked me if I was allergic to anything. And I replied, 'Yes.' And the doctors and the nurses all became silent, and they waited for my reply. So I took a deep breath, and I yelled, 'Bullets! I'm allergic to bullets!' And over their laughter, I told them, 'I'm also choosing to live, so please operate on me as if I am alive and not dead.' Alice lived because of the amazing doctors, but also because of her amazing attitude. You see, in life, in your life, you have a choice to either enjoy your life or to hate your life. Life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. The only thing that truly is yours, that nobody can take away from you, is your attitude. So if you can take care of that, everything else becomes much easier. The pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change. And the realist adjusts its sails.